Hello. Hello. Okay. Hmm? So let us begin our lecture number 18 of the course. So let me ask you something. Let us say we have a p-type material. Okay. A p-type material is given to you. Okay. And you have U2 generation in that p-type material. What is going to happen? And let us say delta p is equal to delta n p-type material with Na is equal to 10 to power 17 per centimeter cube. Okay, delta p is equal to delta n is equal to 10 to power 15 per centimeter cube. Okay, this is your EC, EV, and we have our EI over here. Can you tell me what is going to be your Fermi level in this situation? Anybody? Vamshi, what do you think is going to be the Fermi level? Vamshi Chandra.
Sir, are you asking how will it where will it finally be?
Yeah, that is my question.
It moves down compared to initial position, but I don't exactly know where.
Okay. So if you look at your original equations, what was the equation for n0? What was the equation for n0 or n if you want to call it? It was ni exponential ef minus ei over kt. Do you remember this? Does everybody remember this? What about p? P is ni exponential ei minus ef over kt. Okay. So now, if we assume that we have Sanjana, I cannot hear you. I think you're trying to speak something, but I cannot hear you. Nope. Can anybody else hear her? Okay. I don't think you wanted to say anything anyway. Let us move forward. So if we choose the same EF, अगर मैं दोनों के लिए सेम EF चूज करूं तो क्या होगा? What will EF? What will N and P be? What will be the relation if EF were the same? What will be the relation between N and P? N और P का क्या होगा?
N into P equal to Ni square.
Yeah, N into P is equal to, if we assume that EF is the same, which is the case in normal semiconductors, EF is the same for both these equations, EF is the same, then NP is equal to Ni squared. Okay, whereas you look at this equation, what is going to happen? What will be the value of N? N will be approximately 10 to the power 15. Okay, and what will be the value of p? It will be approximately 10 to the power 17. So if you multiply n and p, you'll get 10 to the power 32. Okay, which is much higher than ni squared. Okay, ni squared is 10 to the power 20 approximately, and this is going to be 10 to the power 32. Okay, so if we cannot obviously choose EF to be the same, if we wanted these equations to be valid, okay, if we wanted these equations to be valid, we cannot choose this, the EF to be the same on both sides, okay, both n and p. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to define a new term, EFN and EFP. Okay, again I will get into that in a moment, okay, what that EFN and EFP are. But does everybody understand that if we are not in equilibrium, we are no longer in equilibrium here, okay, a single Fermi level is unable to describe both n and p using these equations, okay, if we are not in equilibrium. Now I have chosen EFN, okay, and EFP. What should be the value of EFN and EFP? What should be the value of EFN and EFP? वो कैसे निकालेंगे? हाँ, बताओ भाई, EFN और EFP की वैल्यू क्या होगी, कैसे निकालेंगे हम? The only requirement for EFN and EFP is that they should satisfy these equations. That's all. Okay, these two equations. Okay, we already know what the value of n is. We know the value of ni. Okay, so we can find out what the value of EFN is going to be. Okay, and what about p? We already know p. We know ni, so we can find out what the value of EFP is going to be. Can somebody guess from looking at these two values where EFN is going to lie? EFN कहाँ पे आएगा?
Sir, we know N0 and delta n we also know. So we know what is the net value of n, that will be N0 plus delta n. And then we also know Ni, since we are given which material it is. We are also given temperature. We know EI, then we can find EFN, and similarly for EFP.
Yeah, that I already said. But I am telling you where approximately is it going to lie, EFN? कहाँ पर होगा EFN इस केस में?
Sir,
Assuming that it is silicon.
above,
It would be above
above
EI.
It will be very close to your conduction band. Okay, EFN is going to lie somewhere here. Okay, this is going to be your EFN. ठीक है? Is that okay? What about EFP? EFP कहाँ पे आएगा? Come on.
Close to valence band.
It will be close to valence band. It will not be this close, but it will be so it will be EFP. Okay, so these two values, okay, these two energy levels are called as, so EFN and EFP are called as quasi Fermi levels. Okay, Fermi level is effectively only defined in a material where we have equilibrium. Okay, when we are in equilibrium, then only Fermi level makes sense. Beyond equilibrium, it does not make sense. But we are the only thing that you should be worried about. It means although we say it is a Fermi level, but it's not really a Fermi level. It's quasi Fermi level. The only relation between this quasi Fermi level and Fermi level is that you can apply these equations. Okay, that is all. Okay, you can think of it just as a mathematical quantity which helps us describe the value of n and the value of p, and the relation between your quasi Fermi level and your intrinsic level. Okay, other than that, it has no physical significance in one sense. Okay, so don't worry about the physical significance of it. In physically speaking, Fermi level is defined only in equilibrium. Yeah, Rudraksh, do you have a question?
Sir, you said EFP will not be that much closer to valence band,
Yeah.
but shouldn't it be more closer as compared to E of मतलब EFN? Like,
You are right, I am wrong. Thank you. I forgot. I in my mind I had this as in an n types material. Okay, this is a p type material, and your p is larger than n. Okay, if p is larger than n, then your EFP is going to be closer to your valence band. Then EFN is close to conduction band. It will be closer. You're right. Thank you. So some of you are upset that I entertain a lot of questions in the class. Don't worry about it. I think almost all the questions that you guys are asking are very valid. Okay, so I'm not going to discourage people from asking questions, although some people in the feedback have recommended that I should ask people to have questions only at certain times. I don't think that's a good idea. Anyway, we are not having live classes as we would have in physical interaction. So I don't think it's a problem that people are asking questions. I think those who are not asking questions, they will benefit if they really understand what others are asking and they pay attention. I think you guys are zoning out when somebody else asks the question, so you're not enjoying that part of the class too much. Okay, so don't worry. I think I'm not going to stop taking questions during class. I'm going to continue that. So the only option that you guys have, those who are feeling a little bored during the questions that other people ask, is that you should pay attention to the questions that are being asked. Okay, and the answers that I'm giving. I think almost all questions are very thoughtful, and I really appreciate those who are asking those questions. Okay, so please do not expect that that part of the course is going to change. Okay, I feel very flattered that you enjoy my lectures more than you enjoy my lectures more than the questions that other people ask. That is very flattering to me. But in any case, I think it is very important that people understand. So I encourage you also to ask questions, those who are not asking questions till now. Okay, so please do not lose this opportunity of asking questions live in class so that you can understand what is going on. Okay. Till now, in last 6 years, I have been teaching in IIT. There has been only one case where I have stopped a student from asking questions because he used to ask many questions without thinking about it. But in this particular class, I don't think I remember even one question that was a thoughtless question. Okay, so the questions I have been very thoughtful, and they have invoked very good discussions in the class. So we are going to continue with that. Please do not mind too much. Pay a little bit of attention, and then you'll enjoy that part also. Okay. So we'll move on to our next chapter of the course, which is, if anybody has a question here, I can answer that. Otherwise, we'll move on.
Sir, after some time, when the steady state is reached, these Fn and Fp will coincide.
You are right. So assuming that you turn off this delta P and delta N. Okay, here I am assuming that my generation is continuously happening. Okay, if I assume that my generation is continuously happening and this is the steady state value of delta P and delta N. Okay, that is also possible. Please understand that. Okay, these can also be steady state values. Do you agree or no, Vivek?
Sir, how can this be steady state? Because once we stop the generation.
No, why do we stop the generation? We keep generation on. What is the problem?
Okay, sir.
Okay, then you can have that, no? Is it
Yes.
not?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
बट सर जो हम पहले बात कर रहे थे कि एक मटेरियल के अंदर फर्मी लेवल तो सेम ही रहेगा, मतलब फिर इसमें ये अलग अलग कैसे हम डिफाइन कर रहे हैं? केवल मैथ्स सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए हम ऐसा कर रहे हैं?
हाँ, so these are the mathematical quantities I already told you. Fermi level is defined only in equilibrium. This material is no longer in equilibrium. Okay, so what Vivek was saying just now is that if we turn off we switch off our excitation, whatever is causing that generation, if we switch that off, after infinite amount of time in steady state, we are going to reach back to equilibrium. Once we reach equilibrium, we can define Fermi level again. Okay, and that Fermi level EFN is going to be equal to EFP is equal to EF in equilibrium. Okay. Manav.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the advice, by the way. One of you said in the feedback the things that teacher should improve, that he should exercise daily. So I'll try to do that. Thank you for that wonderful insight into how to improve myself. Thank you. Is the YouTube thing working bad today? Is there a problem with that? Anybody? Can you answer? How is the YouTube stream going on today?
Sir, it is working fine.
Okay. So till now in the course, I have been overloading you guys with all kinds of mathematics and concepts and so on and so forth, without really telling you why we are studying those things. Okay, you can think of that part as the mathematics background of the course. Okay, now we're going into actual devices. Okay, for the first device, the most simple device of a semiconductor based device is a p-n junction. Okay, what is a p-n junction? On one side you have, so you can think of p-n junction as a device in which you have usually on both sides you have the same material. Okay, silicon. So on one side you have p silicon, and on the other side you have n silicon. Okay, what is p silicon? Silicon which is p type doped, and n silicon is silicon which is n type doped. Okay, and what is the use of this particular device? This acts like a diode. Okay, and what is a diode? Anybody knows the definition of a diode? What does a diode do? Or what are the IV characteristics of a diode? Since we are talking about electrical devices, I think the easiest way of defining any device would be its IV characteristics. First of all, we have to define how many terminals does it have. How many diode? So what do you think? How many terminals does the diode have? Anybody? Come on. Vamshi, today is your day. How many terminals does a diode have?
2 terminals.
Huh?
2.
2. Yeah. So a diode has 2 terminals. Okay. And what are the IV characteristics of a diode? What are the IV characteristics of an ideal diode?
So the current resistance in one direction and
Current is?
So 0 up to a finite voltage, which is called the knee voltage, and then it rises very.
Yeah. So often to be a truly ideal diode, on one side of your x-axis, your current is going to be 0, and on the other side, the current is going to be infinite. Okay, that is the true definition of a diode. So for every other voltage, it is going to be infinite, the current. Okay, on one side it is going to be 0 everywhere, and on this side it is going to be you can think of this as infinite everywhere. Okay,
So should it rise at V equals to 0 only, or at some?
not necessarily, but a true ideal diode is going to be like that. Okay, because that makes our life easier. What you are saying is right, that it should be some turn on voltage, okay, or cut in voltage, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but that makes our life a little more complicated than we want it to be. Okay, so let me not draw this part, so it might confuse you. Why is it flat? So it is going to be infinite at every other point. Okay, so if I were to do look at a AC circuit, okay, and this is a symbol for a diode. Okay, what is my current going to be if the diode is ideal? Okay, what will my current versus time going to look like? Let us say this is my TV. So V looks something like this. Okay, what is my I going to look like? This is V. I की वैल्यू क्या होगी? If assuming that this is the ideal diode whose characteristics are given by this particular graph, what is I going to look like? बताओ भाई.
Sir, it would be a half wave rectifier and only the positive part would remain.
मैं I की बात कर रहा हूँ इस पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन में. Assume that the internal resistance of this particular source is 0. क्या होगा?
Sir, I will be infinite whenever V is positive for the positive
Yeah,
cycle.
it is going to be infinite at every point whenever V is positive. Okay, so it will go to infinity. It will stay infinity. Okay, it will assume that this is infinity. Okay, and it will come down to 0. It will stay 0 again. It will go to infinite. Okay, infinite somewhere, and then it will come down again. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it will go to infinity. It will come down from infinity, go to infinity again, come down from infinity, and this will stay 0 over here. Okay, now assuming that it has some internal resistance Rs. Okay, if you assume that, then what is going to happen? तो क्या होगा? Come on.
Instead of infinity, V by Rs will be the value.
Yeah, you will have V by Rs everywhere. So it will look something like this. Okay, on the positive cycles it will be V by Rs. On the negative cycles it is going to be 0. Okay. Now, if we had a load resistance, then what would happen? RL. So this will be in the maximum. If we say this is V max, VA max, this is going to be VM by RS. Okay. Now, what is the current going to be in this case? When we have a load resistance as well, it will be RS plus RL. That will be your current. Okay. Now, what will be your VL? Okay. What will be your VL? Load voltage क्या होगी? वो क्या होगी? Come on.
So current into RL.
Current into RL. So VM into RL over RS plus RL. Okay. So that is going to be, again, the shape is going to be the same. So what is the benefit compared to when you are having a positive or a non-zero cut turn on voltage for the diode? किसी ने मेरे से बोला था ना कि आइडियल डायोड में हमारा कट इन वोल्टेज पॉजिटिव नहीं होना चाहिए. क्या फायदा है इसमें?
Sir, we have VL is greater for the same value of V because there is no voltage drop across the diode.
Yeah, and then you are getting a completely half wave. Okay, in the other case, when in a normal diode, you are losing some part of the half wave also. Okay, but here you are getting the full half wave. Okay, the full half wave. Please try to understand. Okay, the half part is completely present in the output. Okay, but if you had a V, if this was shifted towards a positive value of VBI or V cut in, okay, if we had a certain turn on voltage, then what would happen? We would have 0 until we reach that particular value. Okay, so we will not have the full half wave of our input. Okay, so in an ideal diode, your current is 0 until 0 and it is infinite for values greater than 0. Okay, so you get an ideal half wave rectifier in this case. So that is the that is what we want to create. Okay, we want to create a device which performs this particular function. Okay, so that is where this PN junction comes into the picture. So let us see what happens. You have on the left hand side, you have lots of holes. You have lots of holes, and on the right hand side, you have lots of electrons. Now, when you bring these two materials into contact, we already talked about how these materials are brought into contact in the previous classes, but they are not really physically, we do not have P and N separately, and we are not touching them together. Okay, it is done differently as we have previously discussed. But let us say, for argument's sake today, that we are bringing P and N together. If we bring those two together, what is going to happen? P may we have lots of holes. On the N side, we have lots of electrons. What is going to happen? Diffusion. Okay, so we'll have holes will go from the left hand side to the right hand side. Holes move from left to right, and electrons go from right to left. ठीक है, अब क्या करें? ये डिफ्यूजन होता रहेगा कब तक? कब तक होता रहेगा डिफ्यूजन? अगर इनफाइनाइट अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम दें तो क्या होगा?
There will be an electric field inside.
Why?
Electric
field कहाँ से आई?
मतलब सर वो charges आ जाएंगे ना, separation of charges होगा.
Good.
So that will.
So let us say that we did not have any stationary charges. Let us say that. Okay, we did not have any stationary charges. What do you expect is going to happen once everything settles down? Once you give sufficient amount of time, we do not have any stationary charges. What is going to happen? Let us say that. It is not true, but let us assume that there are no stationary charges on the left hand side or the right hand side. Okay, all the charges can move around. What is going to happen finally?
Concentration will become equal in both of them.
Yeah, concentration of both kinds, both holes and electrons, is going to be the same everywhere throughout. Okay, assuming that there are no stationary charges. Okay, because diffusion will keep on happening, and there is nothing to stop diffusion from taking place. So if you give any system infinite amount of time for diffusion to take place with no opposing forces, okay, then the diffusion will keep on happening until there is equilibrium everywhere. There is the same quantity, same density everywhere. Okay, but in this case we have something which opposes that diffusion. What is that something? Once an electron moves from the right hand side to the left hand side, once an electron moves from the right hand side to the left hand side, what does it leave behind? Previously we had equal number of electrons and equal number of positive ions. Okay, but once an electron goes from here to here, what does it leave behind?
Donor ion.
It leaves behind a positively charged ion, okay, which cannot move. Okay, a positively charged ion which cannot move. What about on the left hand side? When a hole moves from left hand side to the right hand side, it leaves behind a negatively charged ion which cannot move again. Okay, so we are again, this will happen more. Okay, not only one electron will move, but more electrons are going to move. So we are going to get something like this. Okay, on the left hand side we'll have a sheet of negatively charged ions, and on the right hand side we'll have a sheet of positively charged ions. Okay, now what is that going to do? ये क्या करेगा? अगर ऐसा हो जाए हमारे पास तो क्या होगा? We have a separation of charges. Okay, we have separation of these charges. What does that separation cause?
Sir, it will cause electric field.
It will create an electric field. Okay, from the positive side to the negative side. Okay, now if you look at the diffusion situation, okay, what was happening? Holes were moving from the left hand side to the right hand side. Okay, holes were moving from the left hand side to the right hand side. Now what does this electric field do to those holes? Electric field क्या कर रही है ये holes का?
Creates a potential barrier.
creates a force in the opposite direction. So diffusion was causing holes to move from the left hand side to the right hand side. What is this electric field doing? It is causing holes to move from right to left. Okay, so it is opposing the movement of holes from the left hand side to the right hand side. Okay, so holes will keep on moving. Okay, holes will keep on moving from the left hand side to the right hand side under the force of diffusion until this electric field, the force due to this electric field, so force due to electric field becomes equal to the force due to diffusion. Okay, this will keep on happening. Holes will keep on moving from the left hand side to the right hand side, and electrons will move from right to the left until we have sufficient electric field in this region so that those two forces balance each other out. Okay, so this region will you will keep on moving these charges until these two forces are balanced out. Okay, once these two forces are balanced out, there will be no net movement of holes in this direction or electrons in this direction. There will be no more net movement of that. Okay. So again, we already told you in the previous classes that there is always something that opposes everything. Okay, that is the nature of this world. If something is happening in one direction, there will be always an opposing force. So in equilibrium, you always have to have that. Okay, otherwise one particular phenomena will keep on happening. So in this particular case, the phenomena that initially starts is diffusion. Okay, you start diffusing from this side to this side, which causes uncovering of stationary ions on the left hand side and similarly on the right hand side. Okay, what does that do? That creates a force of an electric force in the opposite direction to the diffusion force. Okay, and this diffusion will keep on happening until those two forces balance each other out, the force of diffusion and the force of drift. When they cancel each other out, we'll have no more movement of these charges. Okay, so now does anybody has a question here? Did everybody understand that at some point this region is going to stop expanding? Okay, it is going to stop expanding because at some point you will have equal number of the forces of drift and diffusion are going to become equal to each other. Okay, so this particular region is called as space charge region. Okay, the region in the diode where you do not have any free carriers is called as the space charge region. It is also called as, we also call this as the depletion region. Okay, depletion in common English means that you have reduced something. Okay, what have we reduced here? Why is it called depletion? What is depleted in this region? यहाँ पर किस चीज का depletion हो चुका है? What has been depleted? With charge. Okay, movable charge, not immovable charge. Okay, movable charge has been depleted from this region. Okay, all the electrons and holes are gone. Okay, what happens to the electrons and holes that were transferred from here to here? उनका क्या हुआ है? So if you look at the whole system, assuming that this stays neutral, okay, ये हमारा neutral region है. Okay, this stays neutral. ये दोनों regions stay neutral. Okay, these are neutral. Okay, if they stay neutral, that means no charges have changed in that region. What happens to the electrons that move from the n side to the p side? What happened to those? क्या हुआ है उनका?
Recombination.
They have recombined. Okay, we have given it sufficient amount of time so that the excess electrons that move from the n side to p side have recombined with the holes. Okay, and any holes that have moved from the p side to n side, they are also recombined. Okay, so in a sense we have reduced, अगर ये हमारे total number of uncovered ions हैं, so we have reduced the total number of electrons by this quantity and the total number of holes by this quantity. Okay, now let us do some mathematical analysis of this. Assume that this is I'm going to erase some things from this. So this is your x-axis with the value x equal to 0, okay, and this is minus xp, this is xn. Okay, xn is the edge of depletion region on the N side, minus xp is the edge of depletion region on the P side. Okay, and the doping concentration on both sides is constant. Okay, on the doping concentration on this side is Nd, and on this side it is Na. Na need not be equal to Nd. Okay, but it is uniform everywhere. On the N side it is Nd throughout. Okay, the doping concentration is Nd throughout, and on the P side it is Na throughout. Okay, Na need not be equal to Nd. That is not necessarily the case. Okay, can you make some relation between xp, Na, Nd, and xn? Okay, can you see some relation between those quantities? Anybody?
Sir, XP will be directly proportional to ND.
X
Sir, XP will be directly proportional to ND.
Nd, why?
Sir, because as the concentration of electrons increases in the N-type material, that means the diffusion will be more, and we will have more diffusion towards the left hand side. So this
Yeah,
XP
you are
will-
right. A very good analysis from Vivek. Thank you. So that is one thing. But if you were to talk about charge neutrality, okay, this material was initially neutral, okay, and we kept it in free space, so it should stay neutral now also, okay. But why? So what should be the relation between these two quantities? This region is neutral anyway. I have already told you. This region is neutral. This region is neutral as it was previously before this diffusion started. So the only region which is non-neutral is this. Okay, this is not neutral and this is not neutral. Now what should happen to the overall non-neutral region? इसका चार्ज कितना होना चाहिए ओवरऑल? ये न्यूट्रल है, ये न्यूट्रल है, तो इसका ओवरऑल चार्ज कितना होना चाहिए बीच वाले रीजन का? What should be the region?
Zero.
What should be the total charge in this region?
0.
So it should be 0. Okay, the total charge should be 0. Assuming that the area is also uniform, if we assume that the area is also uniform, what is the total number of negative charges? Assuming that the area is A, and not A, let us say S. Okay, S is the area. What is the total number of charges in this region? What are the total number of negative charges in your depletion region? क्या होगा?
XP.
XP times S is your volume. Okay, XP is your length, and area multiplied by the area is your volume. Okay, volume of this particular material. Okay, this particular region, that is the volume. What is the charge density in that region? इसकी charge density क्या है? What is the rho in this region? So what am I saying? क्या हुआ बताओ यार? रो क्या होगा इस केस में?
So why should it be equal? Like why should the charge be 0 if the Na and Nd are not equal when we are doping them?
Yeah.
So finally they won't cancel out each other.
We'll look into that. But do you agree? Since we are not externally adding something, should it stay neutral throughout? Means the overall system should be neutral, no? Do you agree with that or not?
So we have added like donor atoms and acceptor atoms.
No. We started with neutral P region and neutral N region. Okay, and neutral P material and neutral N material. We started with that. Okay, and then we bring them together without adding any charges from the outside. Then what is going to happen? Should it stay neutral or not? Overall system.
Yes, sir.
It should stay now. So we are starting from that point. Okay,
Okay.
so it should stay neutral. Now the total number of charges in this region is going to be xp times s. S is your area multiplied by your charge density. What is the charge density? Charge density is going to be Na times your E. Okay, and if you want to be more accurate, it will be minus E. Okay, because we have negative charges on this side. Okay, so xp s into Na minus E into minus E plus the total charges on this side. The total charges on this side are going to be xn into ND into E into what? No, S. Okay, X and S into ND into E is going to be 0. The net charge is going to be 0. Okay, this region is neutral, this region is neutral, so the total charge in this region should also be 0. So if that is true, S is gone, E is gone, so you have Xn ND is equal to XP NA. Okay, so what? Hold on a minute.
Sir,
इससे पहले कौन था? Darshita, was that you who asked the question before this?
Yes, sir.
So if you look at this, what is happening? If your NA is higher than ND, if your NA is higher than ND, then on the left hand side, what will you have? XP की value क्या होगी?
Less than Xn.
Yeah. So the total charge is going to be the same, but the thickness will obviously be different if the densities are different. Okay, the thickness of your depletion region on the both sides is going to be different.
Okay, sir.
So Vivek said the same thing in a different manner. He said it was going to be inversely proportional. So if your ND is higher, your Xn is going to be smaller. Okay, or XP is going to be larger. Okay. Yeah, somebody else was asking a question. Who was that?
Sir, here why are we assuming that all the holes have been completely recombined or have diffused in this region, like from 0 to minus XP? It is just like saying that the concentration has become Na, so there is no hole left, and all the etc. N are only left there.
Because that is almost the case. I'll give you another cocktail assignment to figure that out. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Although you are right, one of our assumptions is that in depletion region, so this particular result came from an approximation called as depletion approximation. Okay, what is the depletion approximation? Is that there are no free carriers. There are no free carriers in your depletion region. Okay, so that is one approximation that we have already made. I did not spell it out clearly, but thank you for asking the question. Again, everybody says that these questions are not helpful, but they are very, very helpful if you hear them. Okay, if you listen to them, those questions are very, very intelligent. So you are right that in reality, almost never we have the situation where you will have an abrupt change. Okay, you will have a slow change. Okay, so if you do the calculations, you will see that there is a slow change, but for that slow change is the region of the slow change is small enough that we can neglect that region of the change. Okay, we can assume that this change is abrupt. Okay, you are right that there is going to be some means as you are moving to the edge of the depletion region, there is going to be some carriers that are going to be present over here. You are right.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but even if you had a carrier over here, अगर यहाँ पर कोई carrier होता, ठीक है? If you had an electron in this region, what is going to happen to that? अगर free carrier होगा,
Sir,
तो उसका क्या होगा?
because of field, it will move.
It will move out.
to the
So
side.
it is not a very unreasonable assumption to assume that there are no free carriers present over here, because if free carriers are present, they're going to be swept away by the electric field. Okay, it's not an unreasonable assumption. Like in a metal, what happens in a metal? मेटल में क्या होता है? इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड नहीं होती ना अंदर. क्यों नहीं होती? यही कारण होता है ना कि इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड होगी तो क्योंकि उसमें इतने नंबर ऑफ फ्री कैरियर्स होते हैं कि the charges keep on moving until that electric field is cancelled out. Okay, do you know that particular concept or no? That there can be no field present in the metal.
Yes,
Inside
sir.
the metal.
Conductor. Yes, sir.
And that is the reason. Okay, so similar thing is over here, but you are right that there are going to be some non-zero number of carriers, but those non-zero number of carriers are much smaller than Na or Nd that we can neglect them. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so but To be more precise, I should have mentioned that we are making a depletion approximation. What does depletion approximation say? Is that there are no free carriers present in your depletion region, and the change, the edge of the depletion region is abrupt. Okay, you have no carriers, so this side you are completely neutral. On this side you have no free carriers. So and this, so I have also assumed that Na in this region, Na the density is given by xp times, then the total number of carriers is given by total charge on this side is given by xp times s times Na times E. Okay, which assumes that this is the density in this region is Na throughout. Okay, which is not really the case, because you will have some free carriers present. Okay, but it is, the free carriers are small enough that we can neglect that. Aviral, you have a question?
No, sir.
Okay. So we have made one mathematical relation that xn times nd is equal to xp times Na. Now let us look at the band diagram. How will the band diagram look like? So you have, on the left hand side you have p type material, okay, and on the right hand side you have an n type material. Okay. Now if you look at these two situations, your Fermi level is higher on this side as compared to this side. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? You will have more electrons of higher energy on this side as compared to this side. Do you agree with that or not? On the n side, so this is your n side and this is your p side. On the n side, you have more electrons of higher energy. Do you agree or not? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
We'll have more electrons because what does this Fermi level tell you? Fermi level tells you the probability of an electron in an energy level. Okay, since we are moving the Fermi level to a higher energy level, you will have more electrons in higher energy levels. Okay, so what is going to happen? If you have more electrons of higher energy on this side, those electrons will move to the left hand side. Okay, if electrons move from the right hand side to the left hand side, when we bring those two materials into contact, what is that going to do to your potential? What happens to the potential of the two regions? दोनों regions के potential का क्या होगा?
Sir,
Or
it
before
will
we do
try
that,
to balance.
नहीं, let us say you have two balls of metal, okay, and you take some negative charge from this metal, this ball, and put it or from this side. Okay, some negative charge you take from this side to this side. What is going to happen to this side? This, if you take an electron from this metal ball to this metal ball, what is going to happen? This will become negatively charged and this will become positively charged. Okay, and if this is positively charged and this is negatively charged, what will be the potential between the two? Which of the two will have higher potential? किन दोनों में potential higher होगा?
Right one.
Yeah, the one which is positively charged. Similarly, something happens here also. Okay, if an electron moves from the right hand side to the left hand side, what happens? It leaves behind a positive charge, which raises the potential of that particular system compared to this. Okay, and if the potential of this this particular system has become higher compared to this, what is going to happen to the energy? This band का क्या होगा? इस band diagram का क्या होगा? This whole system, please understand that this whole system is becoming higher potential as compared to this. So what is that going to do? इसका क्या होगा? ये क्या है? इलेक्ट्रॉन एनर्जी है. अगर तुम पोटेंशियल बढ़ा रहे हो तो इलेक्ट्रॉन एनर्जी क्या होगी? बताओ. अगर पोटेंशियल किसी रीजन का बढ़ाते हैं तो इलेक्ट्रॉन इस बैंड का क्या होगा? इस बैंड डायग्राम का. या मानव, गो अहेड.
सर पोटेंशियल कम होगा क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रॉन है.
क्या
सर मतलब नेगेटिव चार्ज है और हमने इसका पोटेंशियल बढ़ाया है सिस्टम का, तो नेगेटिव चार्ज को हायर पोटेंशियल से मल्टीप्लाई करेंगे तो मतलब नेट एनर्जी तो कम ही होगी. हाँ,
but this will come down. Yeah, you're right. Okay,
yes,
so
sir.
if you lose electrons from this side to this side, this is going to come down. Okay, and how far will it come down? ये नीचे आ जाएगा. कितना नीचे आएगा? कब तक नीचे आता रहेगा? बताओ एक चीज हमने बोली थी फर्मी लेवल के बारे में, कुछ बोला था इलेक्ट्रिक. दिस इज अगेन वी आर गोइंग टू इक्विलिब्रियम. Okay, we are going towards equilibrium. The material may be different kinds. As long as we are not applying external force, we are still in equilibrium. Okay, so we are going from, when we are bringing them together, they are no longer in equilibrium because P and N did not get sufficient time. Once you give it sufficient time, it will again come back to equilibrium. What happens in equilibrium? Equilibrium में क्या होता है? अंकित विश्वास.
हाँ सर.
बोलिए क्या होता है इक्विलिब्रियम में फर्मी लेवल का?
फर्मी लेवल कांस्टेंट होता है
Throughout. Okay,
Throughout.
so Fermi level is constant throughout in X. Okay, so this will be your, so this was EF previously, this was EF on the P side. Now EF is going to be constant throughout. So वहाँ से हम start करते हैं किसी भी बैंड डायग्राम को इक्विलिब्रियम में ड्रॉ करना. whenever we are trying to draw any band diagram in equilibrium, we start from Fermi level. First thing we draw is Fermi level. Fermi level is constant throughout. Okay, that is one thing. Now what do we know about this side? यहाँ पर क्या है? ये क्या है? When we are far away from the depletion region, इसको तो पता ही नहीं चला इधर क्या हुआ. Okay, it does not know what happened on this side. So it will stay whatever the material it was. Okay, what was the material on this side? यहाँ पर क्या था हमारा? Tell me, विवेक, क्या था यहाँ पे?
N-type material.
We had n-type material, so it will stay n-type. Okay, exactly the same value as it was previously. So इसमें क्या था? Your Fermi level is going to be, so your conduction band and valence band will have this kind of relation. Okay, as we had on over here. Okay, exactly the same on this side. Okay, what about far on the left, towards the far left? It will be a p-type material as it was previously. Okay, no change has happened on this side. Okay, so it will stay a p-type material like this. Okay, now what happens in the middle? बीच में क्या होगा? बीच में कुछ होगा, वो हमको भी पता नहीं है किस तरीके से वो मूव करेगा, but I am going to draw it qualitatively for now. Okay, but we will go into the calculations for that in a moment. Okay, in the middle it is going to appear something like this. Okay, what about EI? Please understand that in silicon, since we are assuming that both sides are from the same material, silicon, okay, and since the material is the same, your band gap stays same throughout. Okay, so your EC is always parallel to EV. Okay, your EC is always parallel to EV. That cannot change. Okay, there are certain rules that cannot change. One of those rules is that EC and EV are always parallel. Okay, so if EC is changing in this manner, EV has to follow the same pattern. What about EI? EI again follows the same pattern. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to think about it and I'll come back after 5 minutes. Okay.
Sir?
Yeah.
So why did you consider the change like a non-linear? Why wasn't it linear since ND and NA are uniformly doped?
We'll get to that in a moment. Okay, we'll do the calculation. I just told you that we're going to do the calculation for that. Okay.
So matlab, in the first case, if we draw it intuitively, you drew it like this. If I were to draw, I could have drawn it linearly, thinking that NA and ND.
That is why I am saying it is not really intuitive. I have drawn it like that, but that is not from intuition, that is from previous knowledge of what it looks like. Okay, from intuition it was not that easy to draw it. Okay. But once we do the whole calculation, you will see that intuitively also this is correct. Okay, but let us wait for the calculations. Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes break and then we'll continue. It will be a normal lecture class. We'll continue with this particular topic. Okay, so please do not skip.